Many people feel nervous or anxious when it comes to relationships. Because of this, they may rush the relationship process and skip important steps. In an ideal world, a perfect partner may appear without having to do much work. But even if you did find that person, you yourself may not be in the right state of mind to build a lasting relationship. People usually skip this step, thinking that spiritual growth or real deep spiritual growth takes a very long time, and they may think it is very difficult to achieve. But that's not true. It appears to be difficult or take long only because they begin to practice and do spiritual techniques or self-help techniques only in order to get something. They're trying to get some kind of enlightenment or happiness, which is of course a worthy cause, but they forget the very basic essence and fundamental principle. We forget to learn and find out who we really are, and can we be happy first with ourselves before we bring someone else into our lives. We may believe we are seeking happiness in love, but what we are really after is familiarity. We're looking to recreate within our adult relationships the very feelings we knew so well in childhood, and which were rarely limited to just tenderness and care. The love many of us would have grasped early on was confused with other, perhaps more destructive dynamics, feelings of wanting to help an adult who is out of control or of being deprived of a parent's warmth. Most probably, we felt scared or filled with anger, or we were not feeling secure enough to communicate our deeper wishes as a child. How logical, then, that we should as adults find ourselves rejecting certain candidates, not because they're wrong for us, but because they're a little too right, in a sense of seeming somehow excessively balanced, mature, understanding and reliable, given that in our hearts such rightness feels foreign and unearned. To find our true love, as they say, we need to slowly remove how certain compulsions to suffering may be playing themselves out in our feelings of attraction. We can try to trace back qualities to the people who first loved us in childhood and to ask ourselves how much our impulses really are aligned with things that might make us happy. We may start to get a clearer picture that our vision of what we're looking for in another person might not be a specially good guide to our personal happiness. By examining our emotional histories, we learn that we can't just be attracted to anyone. We learn we are limited in showing love in some types of individuals because of certain things that happened to us in our past. The truth is, it might take time to rid ourselves of these patterns, but it is useful to know that we are in fact carrying a load of weight on our shoulders that we must let go if we want to avoid disappointment, and it can make us more aware and careful when we feel overwhelmed by a supposed certainty that we've met the perfect person after just a few minutes of talking with someone interesting, or when we're certain someone is just boring and there is not a chance, even though objectively they do have a lot going for them. Ultimately, we stand to be liberated to love different people to our initial types when we find that the qualities we like and the ones we very much fear can be found in different areas from those we encountered in the people who we first looked up to for affection long ago in our childhood. Understanding this relation to our present feelings and the attachment it has to our upbringing can help us unblock the errors we may be encountering in our search for love. That's the starting point of a spiritual discovery mentioned earlier. This is how you begin to attract people and things into your life. We have to learn how to handle the simple blockages that are holding us down and not spend the rest of our life, as we have spent it so far, trying to find things from outside that you can bring in as we search for joy in an effort to compensate for your blockages. In essence, if you don't feel love, it is not because you haven't found someone to love. It is not because you're not worthy of love. It is not because you're not capable of love. It is simply because you have blocked the love with your embedded childhood expectations. And so, it's all about undoing and losing these blockages and not stacking things on top of them, not thinking I will feel good when I find the right person, or I will be happy when I can share my life with someone who understands me. No, it does not work that way. You have to feel good now with yourself, and then without effort, you will be surrounded with opportunities and people who actually want to be around you and your energy. You will soon find that when you are whole and complete within yourself, you don't need anything from the outside. You will begin to discover new things that you realize are important to you, and new things that you've now learned that in the past you might have forced and done the hard way will seem obvious to not work for you, so you will correct your course instantly. So, the more conscious that you can be about what you really want, and the more careful you can be to honor what you really want and what you don't want as well, then the easier it will be to stay out of heartbreak and entanglement that causes you to lose years of your life. Once you have established your true inner self and have removed most of the blockages and you feel open and more confident to meet someone special, the next best thing to do is to immerse yourself in activities that you love to do. Most of the time, it's that simple. That's how you're going to find people who have compatible things with us. It will bring you into contact with people who fit your vision, and you'll start feeling more free to interact with more people, allowing the probabilities for that perfect match. Through this new journey in life, you will feel lifted up. You will find yourself being a better version of yourself, having more excitement and taking responsibility. You will find to be taking better care of yourself, desiring methods of learning something new. You have found to become a better person, and you want to do more. You will want to be more. You will want to be more helping towards others, more positive, be more healthier. This will apparently be attractive to everyone who comes in contact with you, and thus you will be a more attractive person. Please watch our next video that talks about preparing for a better future with purpose and exciting new meaning here on Aligned Thought.